Hi folks, I wanted to just do a little bit of a follow-up to the workshop today. So I've cleaned up a couple of things in this example. One, I've just put the alert controller code that was duplicated into a function, and I've also made it so that we pass the from and to address strings to this drawRoot method. I wanted to be able to show meaningful errors if we've got some garbage string like this. So before, what happened was it threw a CL error, geocode not found, but you couldn't tell which address. So I've wrapped each of the calls to the geocode address string in a do catch block, so you can catch that generic error and rethrow it as our own personal one that has either the from address or the to address. So then we can see an error message like this. So can't geocode address, so that's much better. I wanted to extend this example to add a couple of things. One, I wanted to add a segmented control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this view controller, which is the map view controller. I'm going to embed it in a navigation controller. So we'll then have a title bar, which could be a map. I'm going to select this title bar so I can drag a segmented control onto it. Sorry, the navigation item, which is this thing here. So we're going to go to segmented control. I'm going to put that on here, and it becomes the item in the middle of this navigation bar, which is not something we've seen before, which is good. I'm going to select this. I'm going to select a couple of segments for it. So we'll say 3 segments. The first can be called standard, and we need to hit enter each time we select one of these. The second one I'm going to call imagery, and the third one I'm going to call hybrid. Okay, so if I run this, we're going to see a navigation bar up the top, but interestingly it's clear, so you can't actually see the navigation bar, which may or may not be what you want. There's a way that we can fix this, which is in our view controller, that I'm also just going to rename map controller, which I did in the first workshop, but I didn't do in the second one. Now, that's great work, Michael. Let's fix that. All right. We can do this by setting the navigation bar from the navigation controller to have the standard appearance for the scroll edge appearance. And what this does is, if we rerun it, you'll see what looks like now a standard navigation bar. So I'm going to do a couple of things to make it so that I can interact with this navigation bar. I'm going to open the assistant. I'm going to wait for it to find the relevant hello. Let me see if I can get it to show the code of these. Oh, that's weird. What are you doing, Xcode? Maybe because I've renamed this, it's I'm just going to close and reopen this project. It's a weird bug that we've seen before in Xcode. Okay, now it's fine. Don't know what was going on there. Let's add the segmented control in here. So I'm going to select this segmented control. I'm going to create an outlet to it. Let's call it segmented control. We're also going to create, excuse me, an action. And let's put the action down here after our viewDidLoad method before our draw route. So I'm just going to click and drag, create an action, and my action I'm going to call map configuration segmented control changed, and this will get called whenever the value gets changed in this segmented control. So I'm going to set up some code in here, and it's going to switch our map style when we do this, and I'll take my code I had here for the standard configuration with the traffic, and I'll put that in here for the first one. So if we're using the standard map, we'll use the one that shows traffic. So if I run this, we should now have a version. Still shows our route, but we can switch between the different imagery. And we can see that as we move the map, it utilizes that. So that's great. The final thing I wanted to do was add a little button for tracking the user's location. So let's go back into the storyboard. Let's select our navigation item. I'm going to add to this a bar button item. Let's put it up at the top right here. For this bar button item, I'm going to set it to be toggle location, can be its text, and for the image we're going to say location.circle, which is this little image here. Okay, and we're also going to get set an action, or maybe actually set an outlet for this. So let's go up here, we'll select the bar button item, and we'll create, we'll control click if I hold the right button, and we'll create an outlet called, not called location bar button item, called, oh yeah, that's actually fine, location bar button item. So there it is there, that's okay. We'll also create, excuse me, an outlet to it as well. Sorry, an action rather than an outlet, I should say. So the action we'll call toggle location tracking. And the idea is that we'll use this to turn on or off the user's location tracking. So the first thing we need to do is we need to track when the location authorization changes. So I'm going to put a method in here. And it's a delegate method for the map view that says no, that's not what I want, sorry. Okay, so if we're going to do location tracking, we need a couple of things. We will need, let me start from the beginning. We'll need, first off, to be a delegate of the location manager, so we can find out when there are changes to the user's location. Additionally, we will need a property of our class, which is the location manager, which we can create an instance of with CL location manager. And because we want to be a delegate of these location updates, we need to tell this location manager that we want to be a delegate, and we can do that just by saying location manager.delegate equals self. Now, the method I was talking about a moment ago is we need to handle changes to the authorization state with the app. And how we do that via the location manager is we say location manager did change authorization, it gets the location manager, and we can do something like, you can show the user's location on the map view, and we can do that if the authorized status is true. So what we would do here is when the app launches, we would request authorization. So if we don't have authorization when in use, or it's not determined, we request it. When we request it, a dialog is shown to the user. This will fail silently unless we've put the particular privacy key in, so we'll do that in a second. And then once it gets that authorization, it will call that method down here and say that the authorization has changed. And if it's set to when in use, we can display it. So let's go into info plist. We would say click plus here, and we would need to look for privacy, and then it's location always when in use. So this is the location when in use, and we would say something here like location is used to show where the user is on a map. So let's run the app. Okay, so it says location is used to show where the user is on a map. If I hadn't added this key, nothing would happen, and we just wouldn't know why the app wasn't working. If I allow once, it will now show the user's location. If there is a location set, well, there's none set here, but if I set it to like a city run or something like that, then it should display the user's location on the map. Oh, you know why? Because we also will need to say when the user's location changes, pan the map to show that location. It probably is showing it, but it'll be like in a different country because it's in the US. So the other thing we would need to do is find delegate methods for like map view renderer, which is this one down here, and add a new one that says map view did update the user's location, and we just get their location and we set a new coordinate with the current zoom and we animate the region. And if we do that, yep, there it is showing the user's location. So the final thing I'm going to do in this demo is just make it so if I tap on this, it turns on and off the user's location tracking. So what we would need to do here is when the authorization state changes, which is this code down here, we're going to change this so that it gets the authorization status if the button is, or it sets the enabled state of the button to authorize, because if it's not authorized, we want to disable this button. And then we potentially toggle location tracking to turn it on if it's currently off. So that's what we'll do there. Then in our action, when the user clicks on that button, we want to check if they have authorization status, and if so, just toggle this location tracking. So no, that's not right. This is what I want to do for the location tracking. which is invert the shows user location. So if it's off, turn it on. If it's on, turn it off. And then we're just going to update the icon for this bar button item. So that's pretty easy. And then the final thing is, if our app doesn't have authorization, or rather, sorry, if it does have authorization, which would be in here, we want to just set the initial state of that location bar button item. And if I do all of this, by default, it won't do any location tracking. So initially it's just going to load my map, it's going to show the route. We can say allow once and it will make sure this, this button is enabled. And then at any time if I want to, I can click app location tracking and it will show the user's location. And then if you want to, and it will start animating in a second, I guess we can see it there. And then if we want to, we can just turn off the location tracking, and that's yeah, and that's everything. So I'll stop there and I'll put this code up on Moodle. Thanks for watching.